One of the aims of verbal communication is to transmit power. This thesis focuses on both political language and strategies adopted by politicians to obtain consensus. The political discourse is structured according to several communication strategies meant to please and convince the public. The political discourse can be defined as rhetorical because it is based on reasons which are meant to persuade. The word derives from the Greek rhetorikos, and it means art of saying. It is the art of discourse, an art that aims at improving the capability of writers or speakers to inform, persuade, or motivate certain audiences in specific situations. As in ancient times, nowadays, politicians use the art of rhetoric to persuade the audience. There are several communication strategies, among which the embrayage. The term embrayage means the identification of the speaker with the subject of the speech, which occurs through the shifters, namely pronouns and indications of time-place, such as me, you, us, you, now, here. The speaker is very close to the audience, the distance is minimal. The débrayage technique instead represents the divergence and the break between the subject of the enunciation and the utterance. Therefore, the speaker decides to take the maximum distance. To implement this procedure, it is necessary to use the impersonal form. In politics, metaphors are particularly important because they have a powerful influence on the public. As in ancient times, nowadays, politicians use metaphors to persuade the audience. In public speaking, our body can be an effective tool for adding emphasis and clarity to our words. It is also the most powerful instrument for convincing an audience. Non-verbal communication is in fact very important when people interact to adjust their speech. This aspect is one of the 5 canons of rhetoric by Aristotle, which is called Actio or delivery. Delivery focuses on the mechanism used to impart your message. Mass media have become the main channel of social communication, especially in politics. This type of technology has many advantages for politicians. Social media have rapidly grown in importance as a forum for political activism in its different forms. In this work, I have analyzed the communication strategies adopted by several politicians, among which the Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. During his speeches, Renzi uses short sentences and his language is rather simple. In fact, it can be defined as listener-friendly, since it is informal, almost colloquial. His style is quite straightforward because he aims at attracting the attention of the audience and at being understood by everyone. This is the reason why even uneducated adults and teenagers can understand his speeches. As many politicians, he uses many metaphors, especially football metaphors, since football interests many Italians, as a strategic tool to captivate the audience. President Barack Obama's rhetorical skill, his ability to captivate and inspire the audience with his powerful speeches, has led some writers to describe him as the greatest orator of his generation. As previously mentioned, metaphors are used by politicians because they have a powerful influence on the public. Obama uses many metaphors during his speeches, such as journey metaphors and war metaphors as well. The conceptual metaphor, politics is war, is frequently expressed in daily language. As a matter of fact, politics itself is a war because all candidates will try all means to fight for their position. According to several writers, Obama's rhetorical style is intentionally musical. Part of its effect depends on the way in which the words are articulated. A typical case is the slogan, "Yes, we can," which is extremely effective for the 3 stressed syllables. Furthermore, Obama employs a variety of rhetorical devices that make his speeches come to life and connect deeply with his audience, such as anaphora, which means the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses or sentences. The use of anaphora as a rhetorical device helps to convey and reinforce a certain message in a successive manner that resonates with the audience. Furthermore, during his speeches, he often plays with patriotic abstractions and fills them with specific concrete examples. For instance, his victory speech, delivered in Chicago, channeled broad ideas of the struggle of a generation through the eyes of 106-year-old Nixon Cooper, who has become a celebrity. During his speech, after expressing the fundamental values such as democracy, liberty, opportunity, he represented them through the figure of the oldest voter in those elections. Talking about the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, a TV reporter says, Mrs. Merkel's success is mainly based on the strength of her calmness. Her rhetorical style manages to get into sympathy with people and at the same time to give an impression of concreteness. She is deliberately unpretentious, she sticks to the facts. Bettina Wertheim, who runs the Berliner company Actio Communication, affirms that her humility raises confidence, giving the idea that she is a competent woman who works in the interest of the people. She emphasizes shared values. She gives the impression to walk a mile in their shoes. Unlike other politicians, her tone is apolitical and personal. During her speech, Mrs. Merkel shows great charisma and character. Angela Merkel delivers her speech of gratitude in Washington using a plain style. There are different strategies to make the audience feel closer to the speaker. One of them is telling personal events the public can laugh about and identify with. In her Washington speech, Angela Merkel utilizes an anaphora, a repetition on purpose at the start of each paragraph. I got fascinated, recounting some past personal events. The speech delivered in Washington transmits a sincere optimism without pretending. In conclusion, there are several communication strategies that politicians adopt according to their personality.